Hi guys, and welcome to the finale of Shabbylishmas 2015. I'm a bit late, I know, but real life catch up on you sometimes, and that's what happened. Okay, so let's go through the house and see what I actually did. As I said, it was going to be a pop of red and it was going to be some snow. And I did my best with the things I had. And we can start on the garland here, as I did last year, but it's pretty different this year. There's no Christmas baubles. I used amaryllis as focal points, and I used these awesome picks that I got from US, and they're filled with micro beads. And I have some glittery red poinsettias to catch the red in the other places in the house. Now this here is actually some branches from one of my bushes in the garden, and as you can see it's red. And all I've done here, I have hung rhinestone trim to make it all sparkly. And here you can see the calendar. And this is how it looks like all assembled. And it goes from 1 to 25. And I had a lot of fun making it, and many of you looked at it and had fun looking at it as well. It was a tricky thing to do because I didn't have all the numbers, and I had to use my imagination on how to make them happen. Sometimes I used wood veneers, sometimes I actually used pins to make them, clock hands, all sorts of things. Okay, here you can see the bottom part of the glittery tree. I filled up a big jar with Christmas bubbles, and I have some feathers just to simulate snow underneath here. And as I also said in the intro video, it was going to be some feathers. I didn't put any feathers here because I used this mushroom, which is white enough for this. But I have a few of the Shabbylishmas flowers in here with feathers on. Okay, this part here, the family picture is still hanging up. As you can see, it's an old window frame. I just hung the picks here, and I put a little bit of red bubbles on it. There's some that's shiny, some that's matte. And I wish I did have some more greenery up here, but I ran out of it. So, and on the bottom here, I covered these shelves with a red tablecloth I had for years. And I painted up my snow Santas. They were originally red. Then 3 years ago I decided to have a pink Christmas, and I painted them pink. But now I have painted them gray, and I used some crackling on them, and there is glitter. I really had fun making these. And then there's a red poinsettia, of course. Okay, I used the jar I normally have my pearl trims in here, and these were actually some dogwood branches, fake ones though, but I picked the dogwood flowers off and used them just as this, and put a little bit of red berries. There's more of the amaryllis, a little Santa house snuck in, and there's more of the silver glitter. These doilies my great grandma made for me, and I had them for years, and these are a treasure. Okay, we have suddenly jumped into the kitchen, and my kitchen is like country style, white, a bit shabby chic. So the red really pops in here. And over here we have a little bit of assembly of the goodies for Christmas. We make marzipan, which we absolutely love to make, and we do this every single year. Yummy stuff. And then we have dates. Is it dates? Yes, it is dates. And here's one of my favorites. It's squished Santa foam thingy, marshmallow thingies. And then is more marzipan, and this is very typical Norwegian. It's a little pig, and we make pigs of marzipan. I don't know why we do that. It's just, yeah. In this jar here, or cloth of chicken wire, I put just a few on my mercury glass pieces, and these are shaped like acorns. Really pretty. This jar here contains homemade cookies. We call these chess cakes. And there is caramel cakes, is gingerbread, and so on. And I have some set up before I start making dinner very soon now. Shelves here. A bit of a collection of Santas again. Very Norwegian style. This one is more American. And they are very pretty. You can see here. And he have lost his top here. These are old. Oh. And then these jars here were originally dark blue, and I just painted them. And I didn't use gesso, and since it have you can see the color there, since there's a very shiny surface, I can actually just clean the paint off and it'll be good as normal again. More poinsettias, and this little pig here is even older than the other stuff, and he have lost one of his feet. And this is old traditional, even lost a curl on his tail, poor thing. Okay, so here put up a kitchen table this year. It's normally not a space for it because I can only fit one chair, but you know, it's kind of cozy. And I want to put the attention to the tablecloth. And this one is also made by my great grandmother, and it's embroidered, very pretty. And this is typical patterns for Norway and Sweden. These hanging hearts. This is one of my treasures, and since I'm not very much of a red Christmas person, it doesn't come out too often. And the stove here is very simply done. But I want to show you this. I didn't get to hang them up. But this is just pieces of thin wood, which I covered with silver paper. Then I texture pasted this snowflake, painted it red, and then drizzled glitter on it. So I'm supposed to hang it up on the wall, and it will be a temporarily Christmas decoration, which is very easy to do in any kind of style you would like to do. Okay, dining room table is set for the dinner. I have used my silverware. We always do that for Christmas evening, and it's a mixture of heritage and both. And this one in particular is from my grandmother. It's a very pretty pattern, and in my family there is a tradition of receiving silverware for weddings, confirmation, baptism, etc., and heritage. The table here, I used a red tablecloth that I've had for many years, and on top of that I used the last piece of the mesh I had, and I pinned it to the tablecloth underneath with my bling, and it's sparkly and oh, pretty. And in this small bubbles, I just popped some roses. Very, very easy to do, and it's done quickly if you're in a hurry. This is a LED light candle. It's just decorated with pearl trim and some picks with red berries. And the chandelier, I decorated a little bit with feathers and some of the silver picks, and I thought that was enough for this year. In US, you have a bird called the cardinal. It's all red and very pretty. We don't have the cardinal here, but we have this little fella here. Now this one I bought on IKEA, and it's made of felt. And I don't know if this bird exists anywhere else than in Scandinavia. And the name of it is Dumpop. And it's a little bit one of the symbols for Christmas as we have here. And then another assembly of the branches from the garden. And they're just tucked into a sink can. And this picture here, my son got from his great-grandmother, my grandmother, at Christmas many years ago. This was one of last year's hauls. Santa, my grandmother again. And the tablecloth is also one of those oldies. This one's slightly newer, and I'm not sure whom of them embroidered it. It actually might be my grandfather, because he did that. It's very, very nicely embroidered. Okay, with this window, my window sills, I actually used feather boas to simulate snow. And on the window here you can see it's actually snow, and that's an old tradition in Norway. We have a spray which we kind of flock the windows with. Some actually use tape and make like square pattern in addition. And here you can see the frame I altered. And to make it red Christmas and fit the year's theme, I just put a little bow here. I snuck a couple of the little Santas in again. Here I have something I do every single year. And my son, he loves this, because I usually get foreign weird fruits that we might not necessarily know what is sometimes. But this year is a little bit more boring. We have these, which I suddenly can't remember the name of in English. There's a mango, pineapple, grapefruits, etc. Okay, the last garland, the one over the portal, I put it up slightly different, so it's swagging down on each side with a bow on the top. And this bow was actually made of cushion cover. It has silver threads, but you can't really tell that. It worked out fine. And here's more of those pine picks. And I really love these because they just make things so lively and festive. And here, this is, as you can see, lace. And these Venice lace icicles I just made with stringing them on a little piece of metal wire, which is green, so you can't say it's there. A few of those red flowers again. Not many, it's just that little pop. A couple of bubbles, not many. And one of the birdies from last year's tutorials. On my cabinet here, I just hung a couple of my tablecloths, which is kind of fitting into the theme. This is old traditional Norwegian style of embroidery. The old doily, just a striped one. And this mouse here, well, I haven't had it out for years, but it used to be one of the little magicals when my son was small. I made it look like the Santas and mouses came climbing down to the living room from the loft hatch. And a couple of years he believed me, and then suddenly it was over. So, but it was a nice thing. They were kind of climbing down, falling down the stairs, and that was fun. A fun memory. Over the wood burning oven, I have kept last year's branch, actually, because it was just a good branch and it could be used for Easter as well, and which I did. And this year it had the bubbles I did a tutorial on there, and it has some silver stars, a little bit of padding to simulate snow. That's what I did there. Just a chair with a red cushion. Doesn't need to be that much. Here is a little bit more elaborate poinsettia, which a swag goes out from, and it's a piece of the Christmas tree. Very pretty pics. Spanish moss is fake, but it's very nice. And this reindeer I got last year, and I put some snow-like glitters down there. And a Christmas card from Adela. Thank you, Adela. Okay, next to the television, another one of those old-fashioned Santas. And there's a Christmas card again. And this swag here I made with a flocked swag I got from US, and I absolutely love this flocking. I wish I could find this and do my whole Christmas tree with it. Now these ice bears I made, well, they were in paper mache and ordinary brown, boring, and I think I used several evenings to make them look like this. And I used texture paste to make the ridges so it looks like this. And it got a cute face. Then I sprinkled glitter on top of that. And then I got more of those picks. And these flowers here, I didn't mention them before. They are fake and they're like orchids. And these I can use all year round, and they just fit to make it elegant, elongated, to pull out the white, make walk all over the swags and the garlands. And there's a little touch of red down here. On top here, I used a very simple display this year. It's just a little garland, a few of the silver picks, a few of the red picks. That's it. So, very easy and quick to do. This is the wreath I made last year in the tutorials. I will link to last year's Shabbylishmas below, so you will find it easily of all the links or things I'm talking about. I pulled out some of the stuff that was on last year, and I added in some new stuff. Oy. And it works very fine, except for when things fall down. Unfortunately, the lights I put up last year, it was working fine when I pulled out Wreath from last year, and I was gonna put in new batteries last night, and didn't work anymore. So that's typical. So I have to take it apart completely and start over again with just a green wreath with new lights on next year. But that's fine. I made a big bow here with a cluster of the poinsettias. The heavy cluster here just spread out elsewhere. And I used these chiffon or netting leaves. And I kept some of the white roses, some Christmas bubbles, and picks. And the lace from last year is still in situ. It's turned out pretty. And here's one of the birdies nestled in there. Pretty. cute. Okay, this nook, the sofa, it have been dressed with new cushions in different Christmas patterns. This one have some reindeers. This is a knitted one, new blanket. Here's a glittery one, even one that says Merry Christmas, etc. And the kitties have even gotten a new fleece blanket to sleep on. They need to protect the sofa a little bit. And this is Timmy, our oldest, and he's a lazy one. This tablecloth here, my mom had this when I was a kid, and she gave it to me several years ago, and it's fun to put it up. Good Christmas memories. And I just made the display simple here. I always have to keep goodies on this table no matter what, how much space it is for it. So this year I kept it simple. And, you know, ginger man. These cookies we call dreams, and just melts. And this is coconut tops. And these, for those of you who have Norwegian ancestry, you should recognize these. It's called krumkake. And we serve this with cream with cloudberry. And cloudberry don't exist in America. It's just here in Scandinavia. Alright. Window dressing. These houses I made, I think it's 3 years ago now, and they are covered with salt actually, and there's vintage book paper. To make the icicles I used glue, hot glue actually. It took me forever to do, but the outcome was pretty. And I used feathers again to simulate snow. More of the bottle brush trees. This tree I got from my bonus daughter for Christmas. Okay, the Christmas tree. Ta-da! I had a lot of fun doing it, but it was also pretty difficult actually because of the red and because I don't use it a lot anymore. And actually, it's actually green, but not anymore. We have to replace it for next year's Christmas. So I spray painted it white. Well, not completely white, just like it's touched by snow. And this little dude here, I got it. This is one of the new things for this year, and I absolutely love this snow fox. It's just gorgeous. Here you can see some smaller versions of the Venice icicles. I think that was a neat idea. Here's another variation of the baubles I did, but I put padding in it and just glitter hearts. Cute. These pigs here was a big long one, and I separated into several different pieces so I can use more of it. And I put in some red berries, and these red bubbles I put some glitter on. To hide technicalities like wires and fill up empty spaces inwards, I use the feathers again. And I also have some bubbles tucked in. Now this little guy here, he belongs on the Christmas tree, and that's my bonus son's doing. I call him the scary angel. He looks crazy. So, more of the silver pigs, just a little touch of red bubbles. It's not much mercury glass here now. I actually skipped it almost completely because I wanted it to be as much white as normal as possible, and the mercury glass have a little touch of darker gray. It looks more dirty, and I didn't want to have dirty snow sort of into the picture here. On the top there's a little star, and I have a snowball tucked in there. And I believe I have another one somewhere as well. See if I can find that. Yeah, here. It's Janet, Nana JL54 gave me. So it's got a little nesting place there. This is one of my favorite ornaments. Well, many of them are favorites. It's hard to choose just one, isn't it? And on the side here, I have a little table set up. Again, one of the old tablecloths. And this snowman, I made it myself from the bottom up. I used water balloons, which I blew up and put string around, then texture paste, and then paint, and then glitter. And I think it took me a month to do him. So, but I really do love how it turned out. We even have a rocking horse hanging. There's a trumpet here. Really pretty. And more of the red bubbles. And underneath it's the crazy, the gifts. And I guess it's one gift for me and 20 for my son. So that's typical. So that was this year's Shabbylishmas in my home. I hope you like the pop of red, which turned out to be a little bit more than my pop of red. This one looks a little bit like dirty snow, but he's just too cute. And he's not too happy right now. Perhaps he knows he's being filmed. Oh yeah, like this. Oh, that's the best ever. And he makes the sofa even prettier. Right, Timini? Yeah. Well, I hope you liked the series. I meant to do more, but you know, sometimes things just don't go well. The last thing I did last year before stopping all the preparations was cutting. Well, last year before I went to bed. Before I went to bed was doing my son's hair, cut it, and the very last thing I did when I was cleaning it up was breaking my daylight. Yeah, but I hope the light levels in this video will be good enough. We're filming this with my brand new camera for the first time, and I hope it works out fine. I do hope, there's a lot of hope, that you enjoyed this, that you got some inspiration, that you learned something of the tutorials perhaps, and perhaps got some new ideas for your own home for next year. And I want to wish you all and your family a very, very Merry Christmas.